Once upon a time, in a land where freedom was a dream for many, there was a magical underground railroad. This wasn't a real railroad with tracks and trains, but a secret path to freedom, hidden beneath the earth and woven through forests, rivers, and mountains. Brave men and women, called conductors and station masters, helped guide those who sought freedom along this enchanted route. In a quaint little village near the edge of the Whispering Woods lived a wise old owl named Harriet Tubman. Harriet was no ordinary owl. She had large, golden eyes that could see through the darkest night, and her feathers shimmered with a mysterious glow. Harriet was known far and wide as a conductor on the Underground Railroad, leading many to the land of freedom with her courage and wisdom. One bright morning, as the sun peeked over the horizon, Harriet received a secret message delivered by a swift, silver squirrel named Elijah. Elijah scampered up to Harriet, his tiny heart racing with excitement. "Harriet, Harriet," he squeaked, "there's a family in need of your help. They're hiding in the Whispering Woods, and they must reach the North Star Glade by tonight." Harriet nodded solemnly. "Thank you, Elijah. Gather the others. We will need all the help we can get." Elijah darted off, and soon a gathering of woodland creatures arrived at Harriet's tree. There was William, the wise old tortoise who knew every hidden path in the forest, and Sojourner, the swift and graceful deer who could outrun any danger. Together, they formed a team to guide the family to freedom. As the sun climbed higher, Harriet led the way into the Whispering Woods. The trees whispered secrets of the past and the future, and the air was thick with anticipation. Deep within the woods, they found the family hiding in a hollow tree. There was Papa Henry, Mama Lucy, and their two children, Samuel and little Sarah. Their eyes were wide with fear, but also with hope. "Are you Harriet Tubman?" Papa Henry asked in a hushed voice. "Can you help us reach the North Star Glade?" Harriet nodded, her eyes shining with determination. "Yes, I am Harriet, and these are my friends, William and Sojourner. We are here to help you, but we must move quickly and quietly." As they set off through the woods, Harriet led the way, with Sojourner keeping watch from the treetops and William guiding them through the underbrush. Little Sarah held tightly to her mother's hand, her eyes filled with wonder at the magical forest around them. "Look, Mama," Sarah whispered. "The trees are glowing." Indeed, the trees seemed to shimmer with a soft golden light, lighting their path. Harriet smiled gently. "The forest is with us, Sarah. It will help us find our way." But their journey was not without danger. As they approached the River of Shadows, they heard the distant howls of the fierce shadow wolves, guardians of the dark forest who served the cruel king of chains. The family huddled together, fear gripping their hearts. "We must cross the river before the shadow wolves find us," Harriet said. "Sojourner, can you find us a safe way across?" Sojourner nodded and bounded ahead, her keen eyes scanning the riverbank. She found a series of stepping stones, hidden beneath the water's surface. "This way," she called softly. One by one, they crossed the River of Shadows, their hearts pounding with every step. Harriet went last, her keen eyes watching for any sign of danger. As they reached the other side, the howls grew louder, but they were safely hidden among the trees once more. They pressed on, the light of the North Star Glade growing brighter with each step. Finally, as night began to fall, they reached a clearing bathed in the soft glow of the North Star. The family gazed up in awe, their faces filled with relief and joy. "We made it," Papa Henry whispered. "We're free." Harriet smiled, her heart swelling with pride. "Yes, you are free. But remember, the journey is not over. There are many more who need our help. We must continue to fight for freedom, for all." As the stars twinkled above, the family settled in the safety of the North Star Glade, their hearts filled with hope for the future. And Harriet, the wise old owl, soared back into the night, ready to guide more souls to freedom, one step at a time. The North Star Glade had become a sanctuary for Papa Henry, Mama Lucy, Samuel, and little Sarah. They were safe, but Harriet knew their journey to true freedom was far from over. The King of Chains would not rest until he had captured every soul seeking liberty. Harriet, with her golden eyes and shimmering feathers, knew they had to keep moving. Their next destination was the Mountain of Dreams, where they could find the path to a land of true freedom. One moonlit night, as the family rested under the protective branches of the Whispering Woods, Harriet called a meeting. Elijah the squirrel, William the tortoise, and Sojourner the deer gathered around her. "We must guide the family to the Mountain of Dreams," Harriet said. "It's a treacherous journey, but it's the only way to reach true freedom." Elijah's tail twitched nervously. "But Harriet, the Mountain of Dreams is guarded by the firehawks. How will we get past them?" Harriet's eyes glowed with determination. "We will find a way. Remember, we have the strength of unity and the magic of the forest on our side." The next morning, as the first rays of sunlight filtered through the trees, Harriet and her friends led the family towards the mountain. The path was steep and rocky, but they pressed on, driven by the hope of freedom. As they climbed higher, the air grew colder, and the sky darkened. The firehawks, with their fiery red feathers and piercing cries, circled overhead. Little Sarah clung to her mother, her eyes wide with fear. "Don't be afraid, Sarah," Harriet said gently. "We have friends in the mountain who will help us." They reached a narrow ledge, and there, perched on a rock, was a majestic eagle named Frederick. Frederick had once been a captive of the King of Chains, but had escaped to the Mountain of Dreams. His keen eyes and powerful wings made him a formidable ally. "Harriet," Frederick greeted her with a nod, "I see you have brought more souls seeking freedom. The firehawks are fierce, but we can outsmart them." Frederick led the way, guiding them along hidden paths and through secret tunnels. The firehawks screeched and swooped, but Frederick's sharp eyes spotted every danger before it could strike. As they neared the summit, a sudden storm erupted. Thunder roared, and lightning flashed, illuminating the path in blinding bursts. The family huddled together, their hearts pounding with fear. "We must keep moving," Harriet urged. "The storm is the king's doing. He's trying to stop us." With Frederick leading the way, they pressed on, battling the wind and rain. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning struck a tree, and it began to fall, blocking their path. Mama Lucy screamed as the tree came crashing down, but Frederick swooped in, his powerful wings lifting the tree just enough for them to pass. They reached a cave near the summit, and Frederick led them inside. The cave was warm and dry, and the storm's fury seemed far away. Papa Henry built a small fire, and they huddled around it, grateful for the brief respite. "Thank you, Frederick," Harriet said. "Your bravery has saved us." Frederick nodded. "The journey is not over, but you are safe for now. Rest and gather your strength. The Mountain of Dreams holds many secrets, and we will need all our wits to reach the other side." As they rested, Harriet told the family stories of other brave souls who had made the journey before them. She spoke of their courage and resilience, and how the spirit of freedom burned brightly in their hearts. "Remember," she said, her eyes glowing in the firelight, "freedom is not just a place. It is a state of mind, a belief that we are all equal and deserve to live in peace and dignity. Hold on to that belief, and it will guide you through the darkest times." The next morning, they continued their ascent. The storm had passed, but the path grew steeper and more challenging. At the peak of the mountain, they found a crystal-clear spring, its waters sparkling in the sunlight. Harriet dipped her wing into the water and sprinkled a few drops on the family's faces. "This water holds the dreams of all who have come before us," she said. "Drink, and let their dreams give you strength." As they drank, a sense of peace and determination washed over them. They felt the dreams of those who had fought for freedom flowing through them, giving them the courage to continue. With Frederick and Harriet leading the way, they began their descent down the other side of the mountain. The path was still treacherous, but their hearts were filled with hope. They knew that beyond the Mountain of Dreams lay the land of true freedom, a place where they could live in peace and build a new life. As they reached the base of the mountain, the family looked back at the peak, now bathed in the golden light of the setting sun. They had faced many dangers and overcome great challenges, but they knew their journey was not over. With Harriet, Frederick, and their friends by their side, they were ready to face whatever lay ahead. And so they continued their journey, guided by the light of the North Star and the dreams of all who had come before them, knowing that as long as they held on to the belief in freedom, they would never truly be lost.